All right, everybody. Hey, we're going to raise rates today. Not today, but January 1st. Always January 1st. So, as typical, I'm waiting till the last hour. It is November 29th, and I have 2 days, 48 hours to announce rate raises for January 1. That's just my policy. I always like to drop our rate increases on our families December 1st, 30 days before January. Gives them 30 days to get the email, see the notice on the parent board, on the window, to communicate with us if they have any concerns or hardships, and for us to work things out. And every year, I get the gut feeling in my stomach, and I absolutely hate raising the rates. However, when I do, that fear typically falls on deaf ears, if that's a saying. Meaning, I may have one or two families that are like, hey, we just can't do it. We have a cheaper alternative. We've got to move on. And I get it. I understand. So that happens. However, for the most of our families, they understand. So here we go. I'm going to show you how I do it, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to show you my rates. I'm going to use two different tools today. I'm going to use our CCBC tuition rate increase tool. Right over here in the treasure chest is our tuition increase tool. So jump in there and get this one here. So we're going to use this tool, but I'm also going to use our CMT, which is right here. This is our center management tool, our actual center management tool for our Discovery Kids Learning Center Fruita location. And so we're going to scroll down here and use some fancy numbers down here for potential gross revenue and max gross revenue and so forth. We'll get into all that in a minute. All right, you ready? Let's jump in. Let's raise our rates. Everything is going up in cost, and that means your payroll, your food, your rent, your lease, well, not your lease, but your expenses. So we got to keep up with the times. Let's do this. Here we go. Let's go.
Follow me. Then this is the channel for you. You go. It's pretty cool, huh?
All right, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up our tuition rate increase tool. And we're licensed for 5 one-year-olds. We run 6 two-year-olds, 23-year-olds, and 44. So we have a classroom of 23-year-olds, another one of 24-year-olds, another one of 24, 4, and 5-year-olds. And then we typically have about 15 school agers that come with us before school, after school, or both before school and after. So let's jump in. Our current rate is 50, 45, 40, 40, and 22 for before and after. We are open an estimated of 250 days a year, about 172. I guess I must have calculated that one time. I thought it was 180 school contact days for our before and after school kids. So we'll run with 172. 5 times 50 times 250 is 62,500. That is the maximum revenue if they're all private pay. If they're all private pay, that's a big deal. I'm considering a $2 raise on all of these rates, including our school age. And I've been really contemplating our school age increasing because it's so important. School age is like gravy on top of the biscuits. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm going to have biscuits, but if I don't have gravy, man, you got to have gravy with them biscuits. I'm tempted not to raise our rates on our school agers, but it's happening. This is just me hating to raise rates. All right, let's say I raise rates $2 across the board. What is that going to mean? That means current tuition at 100% is $86,826 and change. With this rate change, $869, that's a $42,000 increase if I got 100% tuition paid and it's 100% private pay or self-pay households, and we're not. We run at this program about 83%, good guess, 83%, meaning 17% subsidy, and so I have to factor that in as well. when you open this tool, you're going to open it. It's going to look like this, but you're not going to be able to edit it. You can make a copy of it if you're a Treasure Chest client. So we're going to make a copy of this because I'm going to keep moving. This is great for others to look at. This is exactly what you will see. We're going to make a quick copy of this, and we're going to call it 2023. All right, so I'm going to make a copy of that. Again, you're able to view it, but you can't edit. So make a copy. Now it's yours. All right. So here we are again. Let's blow this up just a little bit. Perfect. All right. So here we are. So I'm going to make a note, and I'm going to say, I think this is going to be a formula. At $2, that's cool. 42,660. I'm only focused on 100%. We'll just use that common denominator. Okay. Let's say I go $5 on these, and that is my second option. That's what I think I'm going to end up doing. That's $98,000 increase. At $5, $98,910. Grab that, throw a dollar sign on there. It's $100,000 in increased revenue. Holy moly. Remember, that's if 100% is paid and all is self-pay. Okay? Because the state subsidy is going to be already established, and that percentage is not, it may go up January 1, probably not. Their fiscal year for us is like September 30th or September 1st. So it's already went up significantly, and I always need to keep my rates above the child subsidy rates.
All right, I've made a couple of changes here, modifications, because I've had a few minutes to think about it. Because last night when I was recording, neighbors walked in, clinking a bottle of wine and a couple of cans of beer. So I slept on it, and now I'm back, and we are going to finish this tool. I've changed cups, got my coffee here this morning. Let's dive back in. For those of you that didn't sleep in the last 10 seconds, let's just continue. We don't have 100% of our families self-pay. So 87% self-pay. So I've made some modifications to this tool. And here's the thing I want to tell you is that I use every tool that I share with you. And I do that because I'm sitting in the same chair that you sit in. And therefore, as I find new and better intuitive ways to make these tools more effective, I'm going to implement them and I'm going to upgrade them. And that's what I've done. So I've put down here a percentage of private pay or self-pay families that we have. Right now, our FRIDA program is at 87%. So if you have 100 kids and you are at 25 of those children are using assistance, then 75 or 75% of your families are self-pay. You could change that simply to 75%, and that will change this entire program. The amount of increase of tuition is really going to only affect 87% of our families because the subsidy payments are going to be what they are, right? This isn't going to affect that. So let's figure out truly how much this is going to affect. We looked at 100% enrollment with a $2 raise, $42,000, a $5 raise, $98,000, but I do not have 100% self-pay. I have 87%. So by running these numbers now with 87%, a $2 raise is really only going to bring $29,000 estimated in additional revenue. A $5 raise, $67,000. That's a big difference. That's $13,000 difference on a $2 raise, and that is $34,000 difference in a $5 raise. Let's just say your program is running at 75%. Plug in 75%, all the numbers change. A $2 raise is 75% of your families are self-pay, and your program's running at 80%. That would be an estimated $19,000 increase at 80%. Let's say we want to take your average enrollment to 85%. Plug in 85 and 85, and now 20,400. Let's say you want to go 92%, and there you have it. Let's take us back up to 5 at 85%, at 75% self-pay and 85% enrollment. We're at 291. So last night my neighbor says, hey buddy, don't you have a more scientific way of doing this? I said, listen, we have a set number of children. We have a set number of staff. Those numbers don't really change for our program. So and revenue, self-pay is our biggest revenue generator. Our staffing is our highest expense. So what I like to do is I like to figure out what a realistic increase might be. Maybe it's $2, maybe it's $5 per child per day. Figure out what those numbers would look like. So for my program, at 87%, at 92% enrollment, maybe I'm going to go 88. Be conservative, okay? Then maybe it's $65,000 in additional revenue. Now I'm going to look over at our payroll, and I'm going to use my payroll increase tool, which you're going to see in the next video. So you're going to have to see in that next video my payroll increase tool, and I'm going to estimate how much my payroll is going to go up, and then I will make a decision. I'll share with you my tuition increase decision at the end of my next video, because I've got to figure out, is my payroll going to go up $30,000, $40,000, $50,000? If my payroll goes up $30,000, and I'm estimating that a $5 raise will bring in an extra $65,000, I've got $35,000 more for what? For everything else, for like the food, for supplies, for materials, for additional expenses to offset some of the rising inflation that we're seeing right now. And maybe I'll come back and throw in a $4 raise, which at 88, now I'm at $53,400, $53,000. If I've got $30,000 expected in additional payroll, that leaves me $24,000. Now we're getting close. All right, so here's where we're at. I'm going to wrap up this video here. Next week, I'm going to share with you my CMT and how I'm going to look at the same rate increases and how that figures into this. This is my actual CMT, my center management tool for our FRUTA program. There's our numbers: 97.6% enrollment, 98% are paid, 9.2% free and reduced. That's for the food program. And instead of 87, it's 89% is self-pay, 11% CCAP. All those numbers are figured for me in there, and we're going to be explaining to you how I take my anticipated rates, drop them into my current rates, and show you what that means for actual gross revenue. This is mind-blowing, because this is going to be an illustration of those rates dropping into your actual children. So that's pretty cool. So we'll see how close these tuition increase tools and concepts are together. So stay tuned. Hey, thanks for being here today. All of these tools are in the treasure chest, so make sure you check that out. Have an absolute marvelous day. We'll see you soon.